Well, that's great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Chris Floyd, and I'm here on behalf of the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority. And we wanted to spend a few minutes with you today to talk about the Paid Leave Authority and how to register your business. I do want to thank both Jackie McKnight and Luke Fry from the Better Business Bureau on helping to arrange this webinar with us. Joining me today also is Katrina Reale Corso. She is our technology partner from Slalom Technology that is working with us at the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority as we build our administrative platform and our website and the payment processing portal and all of our registration processes. And she's just a phenomenal partner that has been helping us to be ready as we have gone live for 2021 and getting positioned for next year. So I'm going to pivot and share my screen, and we will get started with our presentation. Okay.
We can see your screen, Chris.
Excellent. Thank you for that confirmation. So again, my name is Chris Floyd. I'm the Acting Chief Operating Officer with the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority. As I mentioned again today, both myself and Katrina Reale Corso will be demoing and taking you through the process about registration. And also, we'll share just general information about the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority. And then we will also have time in our agenda to address any questions and answers that you may have. By way of background today, what our intention is to go over the role of the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority. We'll talk about key dates that we have been operating against based on the statute and being ready, supporting businesses both for 2021 and 2022. We will talk about the contributions that are due, and then also then get into the mechanics and a demo of what it means to register your business and how you can easily do that from our website. By way of background, the Connecticut Paid Leave Act was passed in summer of July of 2019. And out of that, the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority was formed. Our responsibility and accountability is to serve the Connecticut community with Connecticut families with providing financial relief when families may have the need to care for a loved one or for themselves and have a vehicle in addition to what may be available from their employer, but have a vehicle to have available compensation and not have to worry about income during a time that they may need to care for a loved one. To fulfill that, our mission really is twofold. One, to make sure that we can provide the information to employees on what the pathways are to receiving paid leave, family medical leave benefits. And that's considering also what might be available through their employer. And then also just to really partner with employers and administrators and healthcare providers about providing tools so that they understand their roles and can provide support to their employees and also as well as navigate our program. In the Paid Family Leave Act coming live in July 2019, supporting for 2021, part of our responsibility as an authority is to put together multiple ways that this program will come alive. And to operationalize our program, we have been doing that in multiple channels. One channel has been through outreach and engagement. And today's webinar is an example of the types of partnerships that we have been doing with community organizations, industry organizations, all across small business associations, all the different types of organizations to help make sure that we can cascade and get the message out about the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority. We will continue to do that. In the end of last year, we did over 60 different webinars. We've partnered with libraries, all sorts of organizations, but again, really making sure that we can share the message about the program. It's not just about how to register, it's helping businesses to understand the tentacles of paid leave as well as the FMLA laws, and really just being a support entity around understanding this. Also, because we are a brand new agency, and actually we are a quasi-agency, we still have the responsibility for putting in all of the policies and procedures that will allow us to run the Connecticut Paid Leave Program. And so that includes how will we get the contributions coming in? What are the procedures to receive that from employers? When it becomes time for benefits administration and receiving leave requests from employees, how will we collect that information? How will we review it and approve it? So all those operational procedures on how the program should work is under our purview, and that's what we are working to develop and have been developing since about March of last year. Also, under the responsibilities of the Connecticut Paid Leave Authority, by statute, the contribution rate is defined, but we have the responsibility on establishing the process for which we will administer that rate and receive those contributions. And so that is a large part of what we're working towards to be ready for 2021. And then finally, we will also review those plans where employers have the option to choose a plan that they will offer, and also known as a private plan. And so if those employers are opting to select and offer their employees a private plan, then they will submit a request into the Paid Leave Authority for exemption from participating in the paid leave program. And then finally, as we look towards 2022, we will have the responsibility for administering the claims and for the paid leave benefits. From a key dates perspective, just a few days that just to know of where we've been. Our agency, under the leadership of our CEO, Andrea Barton-Reeves, started last year, around January or February of last year. Andrea was selected to become the CEO of the Paid Leave Authority. She officially started in March, and we have been working feverishly to get the Paid Leave Authority up and running and getting our supporting tools and processes in place. The first key milestone that we met was in September when we launched our website. Our website is ctpaidleave.org. It is intended to be your go-to portal where you can provide lots of information around the program, and we have been very intentional in partnership with Slalom on segmenting the information by the different types of constituents that would come to the website, be it an employee, an employer, a healthcare provider, a third-party administrator, a tax accountant. So you will find lots of information that we've put out there speaking to those various audiences. As we communicated all throughout the fall and into the winter of 2020, we started our registration process and launched registration for businesses to be ready to be registered with the Paid Leave Authority effective for January 1st. Registration was due to be complete by December 31st. We know that we have over 100,000 businesses that we are looking to get registered. Many are still registering, and that's okay. And we're here today to help continue to support you in your understanding of how to register and what's needed to register your business. Starting January 1st, 2021, by statute, employers are responsible for beginning collecting the deduction of the 1/2% from employee wages. And again, that is defined by statute. And so we are here. And so hopefully many of you through your businesses have already started working with your payroll company or have heard from your payroll company. Or if not, this will be a call to action to make sure that you are connecting with them. From a sole proprietor perspective, by statute, sole proprietors and self-employed have the option to opt into the program and can make contributions. If they do decide to opt into the program, it is a requirement that you participate for a minimum of 3 years. So again, recapping, January 1st of this year is when the employee contribution deduction has begun. And then as we look to January 1st, 2022, and again, this is defined by statute, employees and sole proprietors that have chosen to opt into the program will have the ability to submit leave requests, paid leave requests for qualifying family events. So we've talked about it a little bit, but I want to specifically highlight. So the contributions, again, defined within the statute, again, started as of January 1st, 2021. Those contributions are collected, and many of the questions that we get are, well, where do the funds go? We have worked with the Office of the Treasurer, of the State Treasurer, where a specific employee trust fund has been created, and those funds that are collected from employees' wages will be consolidated and collected into that trust fund. That trust fund is again 0.5% of the subject earnings. So the subject earnings are those earnings that employers calculate against a person's FICA obligations, and those wages are capped at the Social Security contribution base rate. And for 2021, that is $142,800. Those funds will be collected on a regular basis. Employers will have the responsibility of submitting those by the last day of the month following the end of the business quarter. So for this quarter, March 31st would be the end of the quarter, and then employers would have through April 30th to submit their contributions for that quarter. The employers will be deducting those wages, and we will have a mechanism through our employer portal for those wages to be collected. And we'll actually have two vehicles. One, we envision that likely small employers or employers that are not supported by a third-party administrator will have a vehicle to come to our website. It will be a simple process to put in your reporting period, the wages that you're reporting on for all of your applicable employees, and then our website will calculate the contribution amount, and then right from the web portal, you'll be able to process your payment. For those employers that are supported by a third-party administrator or potentially a tax accountant that does their payroll, they will be able to do in a batch mode of submitting the contribution information. And so you should know that we have all through most of 2020 been working with all of the large payroll providers, the ADPs, the Paycors, Paylocity, QuickBooks. We know that many businesses use QuickBooks software, and so we've spoken with Intuit. And so all of these different payroll processors are updating their platforms so that the contribution rate can be calculated against the wages, and then their systems can submit those contributions to us at the end of the quarter. While we'll have the ability to receive the contributions at the end of a quarter, we are not limiting employers' ability who will want to remit their payment on a more frequent basis. And so we will have the ability where if an employer is ready to remit their contribution and they want to remit it on a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly or at the end of the quarter, we will have that capability to do that. So where we stand right now with payment processing and the ability to receive the payments, we will open up that functionality to receive payments in February. And we will have a communication that will go out around the portal being live and ready to receive those payments, as well as for third-party administrators that will submit their payments in batch through their administrator. So we're going to now pivot our attention. I'm going to now pass the ball to my partner, Katrina, who will take us through the registration process and we'll walk through what you need to do to register your business. Kat?
Thanks, Chris. So if you can move forward a slide, that would be great. We're going to go through the process first, Chris, or do you want me to go right into demo?
Oh, I apologize.
It's okay.
I went too fast.
That's okay.
One second, I need to reshare my screen.
Okay, thank you. So what my role is today is to take you through our registration process. And I'm not sure what you've heard, but it's really a very simple process. The overall view of it is 3 steps. We would like to prep you for registration, and this webinar is part of that prep. Then you want to create an account to be able to actually log into the website, and then you're going to complete your registration. So the very first step, prep for registration. Like Chris said, we would like you to go to ctpaidleave.org. Check out the website. There's so much information on there. And if you don't find the answer that you're looking for, we have a contact us form right on that website that you can just submit a question. One of the key things for registering is that there are checklists. Depending on if you're a business, a TPA, a tax accountant, there are things that you're going to need before you can actually register. So as a business, you'll need to know your FEIN number and your NAICS code. So those are 2 key pieces of information that you'll need. Again, educate yourself with what's on the website, and if you still need us, we're there at contactus.com. The contact us form, and I'll show you how to get to that form once I show you the website. So the next part is you need to create an account. So ct.gov, the Connecticut has created a single sign-on procedure, and we would like you to create login credentials, and you'll do so right from our website. We'll put you to the right page and everything right from our website. You just create login credentials. Now, these credentials are new. Just because you have a business with the state of Connecticut doesn't mean you have the credentials to log into this website. This is a brand new process, and eventually more and more of the organizations with the state will connect with this single sign-on. Connecticut Paid Family and Medical Leave is the very first to be using the single sign-on. So once you get that account created, you'll begin your registration. The thing we really want to make sure you remember is the browser you use to access the websites. Please use only Google Chrome, MS Edge, or Firefox, because Internet Explorer is no longer supported. And then the final piece of this is the actual registration. Now, once you get to the registration part, there's 5 steps to the registration, and we walk you through that step 1 all the way through step 5. Step 1 will be all about you. So you're the person who created an account on ct.gov. We're just going to ask you a little bit more information about you. Step 2 is all about the business that you're registering. And so you begin by entering your FEIN number for the business. If by chance someone has already registered your business, we'll display a message that says your company's already been registered and you need to become an authorized user on the account. And this is the person you should contact because they're the ones that registered. Now, if the system doesn't find the business matching the FEIN number, we'll just ask you to complete the registration from that point forward. So you'll enter more business information. Step 3 is additional business information. Step 4 is who else needs to be able to access this account? Who needs to be an authorized user? So if I'm setting up a business, I want to think who at my business will need to be able to come in here and view the information. If I'm out on vacation, do I have a payroll person? You would want to enter them there. And step 5 is just a review of everything you've entered to make sure you did enter what you wanted, and then you will submit, and that's the registration process. Now I'm actually going to take the screen from Chris, so if you can stop sharing and then I'll start sharing. And so it says host has disabled my sharing ability. So I think Amber, you might need to give me that. I got it. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Chris, I can see you. Can you see my screen? Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So what you're looking at right now is the Connecticut Paid Leave website, but I am in a testing environment. So I say that because if anybody is going to follow along while I do this, because you want to register your business, please make sure you are at this website, ctpaidleave.org. Okay, this is the live production website. This is where you would actually want to register. Do not look at the link that I have because I'm in a testing environment and you don't want to register in there. So this is our website. Here is that contact us form that I mentioned to you. If you have a question and you need to ask us something, you would just come here, fill this out. Lots of different reasons for you to contact us, and you would submit it and you would get a response within 48 hours. Okay, so that is the contact us form. I'm here, I want to register. So right here in the beginning of center of your screen, you'll see it says register your business, and you just want to click get started. We tell you right up front, you need an account with ct.gov. And here is again the appropriate browsers to use on the left-hand side of the screen. And I need to create my account. So this is what I'll do first. The minute you click create my account, you're brought to the sign up page for the single sign on. And it's a very small form, as you can see. So I'm going to enter my information. This is all, of course, fake information just for this demo. As well as a not real email address. You can see they're not asking for so much information. You can tell them what language, and then you put a password. Confirm your password. Make sure you follow all of the guidance down here, and you say, I'm not a robot. Okay, so after you've done this, you sign up. You're going to get this message on your screen, and I ask you to stop, read it, and make sure you then follow the directions immediately, because what happens is you are now sent an email, and you have to verify your identity using that email. And if you don't do so within a certain time period, you get locked out. So to prevent all of that, I'm going to go to my email. I'm going to refresh my email. And here's my email. It comes from a do not reply. It's an email verification required, so I'm going to open it up. And it says an account was created for me and I need to verify. Now, if for some reason this link that I'm about to on doesn't work, I have this right here. So I'm going to click on this link. I said, okay, my account was successfully activated. Now I can sign in. And it brings me right back to the sign in screen for ct.gov. And so what I do is I enter my credentials. Now I can enter my username, which was Kelly Smith, or I can enter my email address. Okay, so either one you can use. And then you enter your password. And you log in. Now I'm in a testing environment. I want to make sure you remember that. So this is not what would happen to you. I will tell you exactly what will happen to you. Once you clicked sign in, this is what would have happened to you. You would have come to this screen and your name is in the top right-hand corner of the page. So step one is done. I created an account on ct.gov and now I'm logged into our website. Now I have to do registration. So I go right back to get started. Here's my little check mark telling me I've created my account. And now here's step two, I register. Before I go to registration, I want to show you those checklists that I mentioned. We have them categorized by sole proprietors, self-employed individuals, employers or company admins, third-party administrators, and then for those in the future that would like to apply for a private plan, if that's what you're going to offer versus the state's plan, this checklist is here for you. As you'll notice, sole proprietors, it's color-coded. They're purple. Employers will always be green. TPAs will be blue. Here is the checklist for a sole proprietor. And then right here on the right, you can watch a registration video. Basically, everything I'm about to do with you is here in a video. And then sole proprietors have a job aid specific for them that they can download. Employers, they have their checklist. They have their specific job aid. So I'm going to click on this button just to show you. Comes up on your screen and you can download it to your computer and you can print it if you need to. So that's easy to get a hold of. And the same thing for third-party administrators, the same registration video, but their specific job aid. Okay, so that's there for your ease. And now I'm going to register because I have all the information I need and I'm good to go. So here is registration, and there are 5 steps, just like I told you. Step 1 is all about me. For this demo, I'm Kelly Smith. And so it's asking me information. It will pre-fill my first, my last name, and my email address. And that's all pulled from that single sign-on of ct.gov. But I need to enter the rest. So any field that has a red asterisk is a required field. So I'm entering the business information where I work. I need to provide a phone number for myself. Now, step 1, everybody gets the same step 1. It's the last question in step 1 that now determines from this point forward what the remaining steps in my registration process look like. So am I an employer? Am I a sole proprietor? Am I a third-party administrator or tax accountant? And then if I am one of these 2, third-party administrator or tax accountant, and I've already registered as such, but my clients want me to register on their behalf, they have the ability to come back and register on behalf of a client. So for this demonstration, I'm going to select I'm an employer, company admin, and then I need to indicate my role. And so I'm the owner. So that's step 1, and I click next. Now, if I want to save and finish, I will show you that later where you can resume your registration, but you can save and resume your registration later. For now, I'm going to click next. Okay, so step 2, what is the business I want to register? So we need to enter an FEIN number in the format of number, dash, and then the remaining numbers. You need to enter it in that proper format. I'm going to be entering a fake FEIN, obviously. And after I enter it, I'm going to click next. What happened when I clicked next was the system did an automatic check to see if that business with that FEIN number has already been registered. And if it had been registered, I would have been told, contact this person because you need to become an authorized user. I didn't register, so it's saying, okay, you didn't register, you can continue. So now I need to give it my business name. And I am Kelly's Cakes. If I had a DBA, I could put the name in there. Again, I put in my address, my business primary address, same city, state, zip. If I have a different business mailing address, I can indicate that here. But if I don't, I just click no, and those fields disappear. The next 3 fields are not required fields, but we do ask you to provide them if you have that information. So your state tax ID, Connecticut Secretary of State business ID, and the Department of Labor registration number. Again, these are not required, but we do ask that you fill them in. And then if you have another contact that you want to get this information about the Connecticut Paid Leave Program, you can enter the additional business and phone number here. I'm going to click next. Step 3 is, okay, we need a little bit more information now about your business. So if you click on business type, you'll see there's a lot to select here from the drop down. If your option is not listed, you could pick other. And if you pick other, we do provide you a field where you can type what it is. I'm going to go back and just pick limited partnership tax as a C corporation. And then I'm going to say what my business is. And I'm going to say I'm a bakery. Now your NAICS code, if you don't know it, there's a little I here that you can hover and will tell you the phone number or a website where you can locate your NAICS code. This is a 6-digit field. So even if your NAICS code isn't 6 digits, please pre-fill them with zeros. Now we want to know, okay, well, how many employees do you have? So I have a very small bakery. I only have 1 to 4 employees. And then what is the total annual payroll for my employees? And so I'm going to pick that. And then what's my frequency of payroll? And I'm going to select biweekly. This question here, do you want to apply for a private plan from the program? So if you plan on, seeking out from a different insurance company, a private program that offers benefits similar to the states, and there's a whole criteria you need to go through, you would indicate yes, right? This is something that you're interested in doing. But the majority of people are just going to follow the state's program, and so you would keep this as no. If you do select yes, you will receive an email when it comes time to then have to supply all of your plan documentation for the authority to review to see if it qualifies. And the last question here is, well, who's going to remit the payments on behalf of your employees? Am I going to do this myself or somebody at my business, or do I hire a tax accountant or third-party administrator to take care of this for me? So I'm actually going to say I do this myself, and I'm going to click next. Step 4 is that step in the process that is really important for you to take a moment and ask yourself, who else at your company needs access to this account? As a business, you can add up to 3 additional users during registration. Once you're registered, you have the ability to add additional people using a feature called My Account. But for registration, you get 3. And so I'm going to add my fictional husband, since he is also someone who works at the bakery, and he is also an owner. And I'm going to give his email address, which again is fictional. Now, if I wanted another person added, I would just click yes here and fill out. And again, yes here and fill out. But I do not, so I'm just going to add one person. This person is considered an invitee. They will get their own email, and I will actually show you that email so that you can see what their experience is when you actually add someone to your account. I'm going to click next. And step 5, like I said, is a review step. So everything that you've entered, you can review. And if you found a mistake, you can go to that step simply by navigating to the step, make the change, and then go forward. I found no errors. I'm good to go. I'm going to click next. And I have registered. I'm going to toggle quickly to my email because I want to show you what you get once you register. Here it is. Thank you for registering. So you get this email. It provides you with a registration number, which is only a number to indicate that you have registered. Your payroll companies do not need your registration number. If you utilize a payroll company, they need your FEIN number, and that is it. So this is really just for your records that, yeah, you actually did register. Okay, let me go back. While I was there, let me show you what that invitee, my fictional husband, Paul, he was invited. So you have been invited. And he will have to go through the same process that I did. He will need a ct.gov single sign-on login because it's associated to him. That is not a business sign-in. That is an individual sign-in. And then he will go through step 1 of that whole registration process, and that is it. Just collecting contact information. He would just click start, and it would bring him to the website where he has to begin his process. Okay, so here I am, I've registered. That was a business registration. What if you own multiple businesses? You can just click add another business, and you will start the whole process over. what if my business wasn't Kelly's Cakes, but rather it was a tax accountant service? I need to register as a tax accountant, and I had gone through that as a tax accountant. Now I can register on behalf of clients. I'm going to stop for a second and just check with Chris. Chris, would you like me to show sole proprietor? Would you like me to show registering on behalf of Flo? What would you like me to show now?
Sorry, Kat. I was just trying to get myself off of mute. I think it would be helpful to show registering on behalf of.
Great.
Because I do, knowing that there's about 90 or so participants, and there may be some businesses that are supported by a tax accountant or a third-party administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's helpful for this audience to know that these entities can register on your behalf. And so it's helpful to understand that.
Wonderful. So can you still see my screen?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So like I said, when you click on add another business at the end of that flow, you're just brought right back to step one, and everything that I entered in step one has been remembered and retained. So I don't have to go through this all again. But let's say now I need to register as a tax accountant. This same process would be the same for a third-party administrator. My business is not a cake business, but it's an accounting business. And I reside in the state of Connecticut. My business is in the state of Connecticut, and I have one or more employees in the state of Connecticut that is employed at my tax accountant. So I need to register too. So I'm going to first say that I'm a tax accountant and click next. I need to provide my FEIN number for my tax accountant agency. Again, it's a fake FEIN. I have not registered my business, so I'm going to go now and say I'm Kelly's Tax Services, and my primary location. I do not have a different business mailing address. I ask you to please enter these pieces of information if you know them. I'm going to click next. Now, step 3 for a TPA or a tax accountant is different than the step 3 for a business or sole proprietor. So during our step 3, we need to say, yes, we have acknowledged that we are able to remit contributions on behalf of a client. And so that's what step 3 is all about. So I'm clicking to say that I am authorized. Step 4 is the same for everybody's registration. It is the part where you say who else needs to have access to this account. Now, the difference between a TPA and tax accountant and then businesses is, notice, we can add up to 10 additional users at this time. And again, once you're registered and access your account feature, you can add additional ones at that point. So this gives you 10 options. You can add 10 people, and that could be anybody who needs access to this account. Since I've already demoed this, I'm going to just say no, I do not need to add anybody, and I'm going to click next. Step 5 is the same. It's a review. I'm going to click next. So now I've registered as my tax accountant business. I've told the authority I am a tax accountant in the state of Connecticut. And I have a client and he wants me to take care of everything for him. He doesn't want to have to take care of filing and paying his quarterly contributions. So I'm going to do that on his behalf. So step 1, again, I'm the same person. I'm Kelly Smith. But now when I come down here, I'm going to register on behalf of a client. When I indicate that, it's going to ask me, well, what kind of client do you have? Do you have an employer, or is this a sole proprietor? So I'm going to say I have an employer, and I click next. Again, I'm asked for that employer's FEIN number. So not mine, the person I'm registering on behalf of, the client. And now I'm going to enter the client's information and the client's address. Do they have a different business location? I would enter their state tax ID because as their tax accountant, I would probably have all of this information. But if I don't, it's okay because it's not required. I click next. Now I need to say, well, what kind of company is it? Oh, it's a single member LLC. It's a steel shop. Got to put its NAICS code in here. I have to indicate how many employees they have. I have to indicate their annual payroll and then the frequency of their payroll. And are they interested in the private plan? No, they're not. And I, a tax accountant, am going to remit on their behalf. So I would select a third-party administrator. I click next. Now at this point, in step 4, I'm going to add somebody who works at that client and probably the client himself, because if the authority, if someone at this client at Stewart Steel needs to actually file a claim to receive paid benefits once that is in effect post 2022, well, the authority is going to need to speak to someone at the company. They're not going to want to talk to me. So I need to make sure I put the client information in here. So I'm going to put Stewart. He is the owner. And I'm going to give the email. So now the authority will be able to contact him. And I could add another person. I can add maybe their benefits person, right? The person who's actually going to do their benefits. Okay, and then I click next. I review their information. I did good. I say next. If I had another client I was going to register on behalf of, I would just repeat the process. But if I'm done, I've already registered. I just have Stewart Steel as my tax accountant business. I can navigate to my account. And to activate and to access your account, you click on your name and you would select my account. And as Kelly Smith, I have registered and connected to 2 businesses, Kelly's Cakes and Kelly's Tax Services. Now I'm going to stop here because we're not doing a demo on my account, but this is everything where you can see everything that you did register is right here in the My Account feature. There are certain fields that are editable. There are certain fields that are not, and you can always add more contacts right from the Contacts tab, Add User. So you can add as many as you need. I'll stop there and give it back to you, Chris.
Great. Thank you, Kat. Really appreciate that. So while you were doing the demo, I saw a lot of questions that came through the Q&A, and I have been trying to simultaneously get to those while you have been presenting. So let's see the remaining questions that we have, and I think we'll try to do them live rather than try to type at the same time. So a question that we have here, if we are going to do the private plan option, do you know when the portal will be open to upload documents? Also, how do we obtain a surety bond? Do you know when the state will post the requirements? So, so we are anticipating in February that we will open up the site for those employers that are going to go with a private plan. We actually are in the process of finalizing our testing of the whole private plan portal right now. And so what that will allow you to do is to upload all of the requirements, all the required documents that we require. It'll also ask you questions. Did you conduct the vote among your employees and get over 50% approval for participating in the private plan. You'll need to attest that you've done all of those steps, that you obtained, all the required documents. You'll upload those required documents. In terms of obtaining a surety bond, I know that there are surety insurers. Amber, if you can note this question, and perhaps in the follow-up, we can just write a quick note about where to go for those participating insurers that offer that. We've been trying to provide as much information on our website, but we will get back to you on that one. So I will close that question. The next question is, what if an employee has 2 jobs and over contributes to this fund? And so we've received that question often. Both, if an employee has 2 jobs, each employer will not know if the person has reached that Social Security max of $142,800 and whether or not their contribution hit the max. So we will have information available to us at the Paid Leave Authority through the Department of Labor as to those employees that may or may not have reached the max. And we're working through what the reimbursement or overpayment process might be. We've talked with other states that have this, and what some of the other states do is if there's an overpayment, they likely carry it forward to the next quarter, so it offsets your next quarter. We're still working through what that reimbursement process will be, but when we do have more information, we will communicate that. We'll also have it available on our website. Another question, is this taxed off of gross or not taxable gross? So in consult with our Department of Revenue Services, and the guidance that we're giving is that the calculation of the rate should be against those wages which are considered your FICA wages, and FICA wages look at the gross wages, and then again, consider any of those that go into the FICA calculation. So you'll see in all of our messaging, the contribution rate of 0.5% should be calculated against the person's FICA wages. Okay. Okay. Can the business type be changed at a later date if incorrectly listed? And so you will have the ability to go into My Account and update your account information. I think, Kat, you did demo that function. So you can update that through the My Account function. Is there anything that you want to add about that?
Not necessarily that, but I did want to have a moment to go back to show them what happens if you pause a registration. How do you resume your registration? I just want to make sure people know where to find that.
Okay. Let's see if I can get to a couple more questions, and I'll make sure we leave time to do that. We originally registered as if we would go with a private plan. We have changed our minds and have decided to stay with the state's plan. How do I update this information on your site? So you can go into My Account and uncheck private plan. And then we are assuming that you're working with your payroll system to apply the contribution, or if you're supported by a TPA or a tax accountant, to make sure that they, as a TPA or tax accountant, are registered. And then you're obviously already registered, but if you can update your status, and then the responsibility that you will have is that at the end of the quarter, you need to remit payment. Kat, anything to add?
No, and when I go back, I can quickly show my account really fast and just highlight the different fields that people are asking about so that they know where to find them.
Okay. All right, why don't we go ahead? I want to make sure, let's go ahead and let you do that. And then I will go back, and if I can answer questions online, I'll do that.
Okay. Please let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, can see it.
Okay, so as you can see, I'm still logged in to the ctpaidleave.org website. and I had already come in and I paused the registration. So when you come back, you're going to be at this place and you're going to say, well, geez, where can I resume my registration? You just go again to get started. And when you go to get started, you're going to see this new box here that has this main registration flow and then resume registration. And you would just click on this box and complete the registration process. It does look a little different. It brings it into this smaller screen, but it is the same process. Okay, so that's how you resume your registration. Let's go into the My Account. So can you be registered? You registered your business, you go into My Account. This information up here is all about me, Kelly Smith. This is my contact information, my phone number. And then these are the accounts that I'm connected with. So I'm going to go into Kelly's Cakes for a second. And as you can see, this, again, this is the test environment and it's not ready yet, but this is what we call the payment portal. And I would be able to remit a contribution here. And so if I'm a tax accountant, I would also do this for my client here. Somebody asked about what type of business. This is the field for type. So if you made a mistake, you just click the little pencil and you're able to change whatever you think you should have here for this field. And let me see, where else? What was the other? Oh, private plan. So let's say you said yes, you would like to apply for a private plan program, and then you changed your mind. So again, in My Account, here is the field, private plan exemption. This wording will be changed to just private plan. You would come in here to the drop down and yours would say yes, because that's what you had selected. You would switch it to no. And then whatever you change, you need to save. The fields that are not editable are either system driven or they're feeds directly from the Department of Labor, or they're key pieces of information, obviously like your FEIN number. So those are key pieces of information that you cannot change. Again, if you need to add people to your account that you forgot to add, you can do so right from contacts, add user, and you can actually, if somebody leaves the business, let's say, Paul leaves, whatever reason, I can take away his access. And let me refresh my screen. Go back and, oh, I put it in the wrong date, so I apologize that. I was wondering if it was going to work. Let me make my screen smaller so that I can actually get to the calendar. I'm going to end it today. Go into contacts, and now he has a no, which means he cannot access the account anymore. If I have a third-party administrator, they can add me as well. And I don't want to take any more of your time, Chris. That was what I wanted to demo.
Great, thank you, Kat. I really appreciate that. Okay, I think I want to take a few more questions. I did try to get to a few questions while you were demoing. So one of the questions that's coming up quite frequently in the Q&A, I see that several of the businesses are not necessarily supported by a TPA, but as you have your own payroll department and you want to be able to submit a file like a TPA. So currently our process really is designed around TPAs that are going to be submitting batch files to us on behalf of multiple employers. For those employers that want to submit to us, we will come back with a timing for which we can do that. But right now, the design of our platform is that you would come to our portal and you will process for your business very simply doing it through the front end web portal. But we are hearing the need for other employers that want to submit it in a batch on an individual basis. And we will look to have that capability later on in the year. There was another question that's come up a couple of times about if there's an overpayment or reimbursement, would it go directly to the employee or would it go to the business to manage as well? I don't have an answer for that at this time. We know that we're going to have information directly from the Department of Labor. So when we are looking to see, or if we get notification that a person may have overpaid, we're working through what that overpayment process would be and whether that would go directly to the employee or back through the employer. So again, we will have more information about that coming up in the next couple of months.
Chris, if I could just clarify that the file and pay feature on our website is strictly about payment. You're going to file a report, which is, yes, you have subject earnings to report. This is the pay period in which you're reporting it. This is the dollar amount that I am reporting. And then, oh, here is the payment. We're not asking for allocation by employee of these allocations. So, don't think if you have 500 employees and you have to come to the portal, you're going to tell us 500 times who does what when. It's just a pay period, dollar amount, and then send the payment. So I just want to make sure y'all understand that.
That's right. And we're going to give more clarity around that because, you will have as an employer time to make adjustments because really for us, the contribution is due at the end of the quarter. So if there are employees that maybe that there was the calculation should have stopped, or there was an overpayment, or there was a payroll cycle where maybe the contribution hadn't been collected, you have time within that quarter as an employer to make adjustments and have that in your cycle so that by end of the quarter, what we receive is for your total employee population base and has been calculated. So again, we'll send out more communication around that process so that you can have information on how to manage that. Okay, I know it's coming at 2:00. We won't be able to get to all the questions. I don't know if Jackie or Luke, is there anything that you'd like to say to the group? Or if not, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak with everyone today.
Hi, Chris and Katrina. Yeah, it was just more of a thank you for hosting us today and answering all of our questions about the CT paid leave. And then also telling everybody who have tuned in to follow BBB on Facebook. We are going to be posting a few more webinars that you guys are hosting for our accredited businesses to keep answering even more questions about this program. So thank you, ladies, very much. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in today.
Thank you so much. And just one last plug, please visit our website, ctpaidleave.org. And there's two great resources on there. One, we have a frequently asked questions section that we constantly update because we get great questions like this. And we're like, oh, we never heard of that one before. We need to add that to the FAQs. And then we also have an events page. And on the events page, that allows you to see when we are doing additional webinars, just like this. And we may be covering a topic that you're interested in. All of them are not always about how to register. So please check that periodically. We are constantly updating that for the month of January into February. And our goal is just to really provide you as much information as possible and be self-service. So once again, thank you for the opportunity and hope you all have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.